Chosen one, listen closely. What is being revealed now carries the weight of heaven's attention. There are eyes on you more than you know. Some gaze with admiration, others with envy, and many with a quiet obsession they themselves cannot explain. You were never invisible. Even in your silence, even in your weariness, your light has spoken volumes. Behind the veil of your everyday life, whispers travel. Your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. The mouths that mention you do so, not in passing but with purpose. Someone close has shown others your words, your image, even your quietest expressions. What they received in response will shake the ground beneath your trust. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Luke 8:17. You thought they had forgotten you, but the truth is, they never stopped watching. Not because they support you, but because they can't look away. They measure themselves against your spirit, your endurance, your calling. And now, one name too close for comfort is about to surface. Their true intentions are not what they appeared to be. The Lord sees what you cannot, and today He is lifting the veil. As you sit here, heaven leans in. This moment is not random, it is appointed. Now, as you step forward into this divine awareness, I invite you to declare your readiness. Type Amen in the comments below as a sign of your acceptance, as a bold statement that you are ready to walk in discernment and divine protection. And stay with me until the very end, because what comes next is a powerful prayer straight from the throne room of grace. And now, chosen one, as the veil lifts further, the atmosphere grows dense, charged with something unspoken, yet deeply felt. There's a pressure building, not around you, but because of you. A truth is stirring in the shadows, one you have not yet seen, though your spirit has already whispered it to you in moments of stillness. What they carry is not just curiosity, it is knowledge. There is something they know about you that you haven't yet uncovered about them, a secret harbored in the silence of their heart. A strategy unfolding behind a casual smile, a confession trembling at the edge of their tongue. This is not coincidence. This is a divine intersection, a crossing point written into the pages of your destiny. You felt it, haven't you? That sudden weight in your chest when a certain name crosses your mind. That whisper in your soul when a room goes quiet as you enter. The tension in the air when your presence is felt but not acknowledged. These were not tricks of the mind, they were confirmations. Your spirit has known what your eyes could not yet see. Behind closed doors, your image has been circulating, not just seen, but studied, not just discussed, but dissected. Your light, your energy, has left imprints on those who never truly knew how to name what they felt. And when your image was placed before them, silence fell like a curtain. Not because you were forgotten, but because you could not be ignored. 3 voices rose in response. Each one carried a different weight. One marveled, "They are rare, almost unreachable." Another admitted, "They intimidate me. There's something too powerful about them." But the third voice, it did not speak from ego or fear. It spoke from revelation. There is something divine in their presence. I can't explain it, but I feel it. These were not idle words. They were echoes of something deeper. Revelations, not opinions. And the one who placed your image in front of those voices, the one who started the conversation, was not a stranger. No, it was someone you had trusted without question. Someone who once held your confidence, now carries your story in places you were never invited into. What they shared was not light-hearted. What they stirred was not innocent. And soon their true role will be revealed. A role cloaked in pretense, but driven by intention. What comes to light next will shift your understanding of loyalty, of connection, and of discernment. Their reactions, the envy, the desire, the fear, they were never about what you said or did. They were about who you are. The glory that rests upon you is not easily ignored. It provokes, it reveals. It awakens both admiration and insecurity in others. And now, the masks around you are beginning to slip. Why has destiny drawn so many eyes to your steps? Because you carry something that cannot be dimmed, a divine imprint that leaves no room for neutrality. Your presence calls things out of hiding. It demands response, even from those who never intended to speak. And soon, one of them will break. Not because they want to, but because truth always finds a way through. Their confession will not only explain the tension you've been feeling, it will shift the ground beneath your feet. For the Lord brings every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. Ecclesiastes 12:14. Chosen one, this is not a moment of fear. It is a moment of clarity. What was hidden is rising, and what has been spoken behind your back is being brought into the light, not to harm you, but to free you. And now, chosen one, the silence begins to shift. The stillness around you has not been empty, it has been a gathering storm, for the eyes that once watched quietly are no longer passive. They are calculating, waiting, circling your steps like shadows that blend into the ordinary. But this is no ordinary season. This is the unraveling, the moment where the unseen becomes known. The tension you feel? It's real. It's the weight of revelation pressing against time, waiting to break through. They've been holding back. Those who have carried your image literally and metaphorically into secret spaces, not out of malice, not entirely, but because something about you demands explanation and they cannot find the words. You were never just seen, you were studied. Your presence left questions they couldn't answer and emotions they couldn't hide. One among them, one whose name is already familiar, has carried your image like a key, unlocking reactions wherever it was shown. What they found wasn't shallow interest, but something layered and trembling. 3 voices rose. One couldn't help but admit, this one, there's something unforgettable about them. Another voice, sharp with envy, said, they intimidate me. I don't know why, but they do. And the third voice, quiet and solemn, declared, there's something more here. I can't explain it, but I feel it in my spirit. These weren't opinions, they were spiritual markers, reflections of a presence that speaks even when silent. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1-5. What they don't yet understand is that your light does not come from charm or appearance, it comes from calling, and calling cannot be manufactured or dismissed. It exposes things in others, their lack, their longing, their fears. It stirs both admiration and resistance, but it never goes unnoticed. The one who began all of this, the one who showed your picture, who whispered your name, never meant for it to go this far. But it did, because the spiritual weight you carry is heavier than they imagined. They sought validation. They wanted to understand their own conflicted feelings. And in doing so, they awakened something even they weren't ready for. Now, what was once hidden begins to surface. Not just secrets, but motives. Not just actions, but truths, long buried beneath polite smiles and careful words. And when the moment of confession arrives, and it will shatter the illusion you held of who they were. The bond will break, not from bitterness, but from clarity. because the one who watched you most closely was not your enemy, but not your ally either. Their gaze held admiration, but also fear, desire, but also distance. They recognized your calling before you did, and that frightened them. This has always been more than observation. It's been spiritual recognition. The pull they felt toward you was not accidental. It was divine evidence that your life carries meaning beyond human comprehension. You are not merely being watched, you are being weighed. And what comes next, what they will finally say, will change the shape of your path, because the one behind the eyes, the one who wore the most familiar face, was never who you thought they were. And yet, their truth will be the thread that ties every unexplained feeling, every strange moment, every shift in energy together. This was never about them. It was always about what God placed within you, a fire too bright to ignore, a presence too anointed to suppress, a destiny too high to fit within the limits of their vision. And now, chosen one, the silence begins to break. What once moved in shadows is stepping into the light. The glances, the whispers, the energy you could feel but not name, it was all real. The air has been heavy for a reason. The unseen is preparing to be revealed, and the name that's about to rise will strike the deepest chord in you. It wasn't imagination that weight you felt walking into certain rooms, the sudden shift in conversation, the quiet stares. It was the presence of eyes, not merely watching, but analyzing, measuring, trying to make sense of what you carry that they cannot imitate. And among them was one you trusted, a voice you leaned on, a presence you felt safe around. But behind the comfort, they held a secret. They carried your image literally and in their thoughts into spaces you were never meant to see. They wanted to know if others could see it too, that glow, that strength, that undeniable magnetism. And when your name was mentioned, the air shifted. 3 voices answered, one in awe. They're unforgettable. Another laced with envy. They shine too brightly. And the third, quiet and clear. They're not like us. They're set apart. These were not empty opinions. They were spiritual confirmations, echoes of something heaven has already decreed. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1-5. But what shook the one who started it all wasn't what others said it was, what they felt. As the words landed, their silence screamed louder than any confession. They realized they had crossed into something sacred. You were no longer just someone they knew. You were someone whose presence challenged them, inspired them, and unraveled them all at once. They didn't carry hate. What they carried was far more complex admiration they couldn't explain, fear of what you awakened in them, and a longing that grew too heavy to hold alone. They watched not to judge, but because they were drawn helplessly to your light, your resilience, your grace, your divine assignment. And now, the final veil is falling. The one who watched the longest, who stood the closest, is about to speak. The truth they've been hiding is no longer containable. Their confession will not just surprise you, it will reframe everything. The love they buried, the awe they disguised, the silent devotion they never dared to voice it, all rises now. Not out of manipulation, not out of obsession, but because the presence of divine calling always demands clarity. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of Him to whom we must give account. Hebrews 4:13. This moment, this unveiling, is not a betrayal, it is a revelation. One written into your story, not to break you, not to break you, but to awaken you. You were never watched out of weakness. You were studied because your spirit carries what others feel but cannot define. And now, chosen one, the person you never suspected, the one who walked beside you, will step forward. Their name will shake the room. Their truth will echo through your soul. And when the curtain falls completely, your journey will never look the same again. Now, the hour has arrived. This is where everything hidden begins to break open. What once stirred beneath the surface now rises in full force. The silence that once lingered around you was never emptiness. It was a build-up, a quiet storm waiting for its moment. And now, the veil that covered every whisper, every gaze, every unspoken tension is tearing. You have carried the weight of invisible eyes for longer than you realized. The heaviness in your chest when you entered a room. The laughter that shifted tone when you appeared. The hush that wrapped around your name when you left. These were not accidents. These were signs. For your image, your very essence has moved through places you've never stepped foot in. Your name, your light, your energy have lingered like a fragrance that cannot be forgotten. And at the center of this unfolding truth is one soul close, familiar, who held your picture with trembling hands, not to harm, but to understand, to see what others would say, to measure what they themselves could not name. And the responses? They were not chatter, they were spiritual echoes. One voice called you unforgettable, a light that no one could erase. Another confessed fear, they're a force I can't match. And the last spoke with reverence, they are set apart, chosen. These weren't compliments, they were prophecy dressed in casual words. You are a people holy to the Lord your God. He has chosen you to be his treasured possession. Deuteronomy 14:2. The one who shared your image didn't do so out of cruelty, but out of confusion, pulled between admiration and envy, affection and fear. They carried two truths. They wanted to look away, and they couldn't. Your light unsettled something in them. It exposed their own silence, their own longing, their own shadow. They were seeking answers, confirmation that what they felt wasn't madness. And when others spoke of your presence, it only stirred the ache deeper. Because what they heard confirmed what heaven had long declared. You are not ordinary. Even now, they replay the moment your face appeared, the way the air thickened, the way conversation collapsed into reverent silence. They've not slept peacefully since. The truth they buried is now rising like a tide they can no longer hold back. Your life, your presence, has wrapped itself around their thoughts, not in hate, but in awe, in a longing too complex to name, in recognition. For even they see it now, your life is marked. Your calling burns too brightly to go unnoticed. You are not just seen, you are felt. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 60:1. And so it is, what was hidden is about to be revealed. The one you least suspected, the one who wore the mask of distance and normalcy, is the very one who never stopped watching. Their silence is fracturing. Their truth is trembling at the edge. They will step forward. They will speak. And when they do, their confession will rewrite what you thought you knew. This is not about betrayal. It's about revelation, about a truth that could no longer stay buried. And once spoken, it will shift everything. Because the gaze that haunted you, the attention you felt, but could never prove it, wasn't rooted in judgment. It was born of something deeper, a sacred recognition of who you are. And now, destiny calls your name louder than ever before. The moment has come, the curtain falls, and the truth stands unshaken. And now that the truth has begun to unfold, chosen one, you must not only hear but respond. What has been revealed is not just information to process, it is a call to alignment. Heaven does not expose without purpose, and the unveiling you've witnessed was not meant to entertain curiosity, but to awaken responsibility. You have been seen, studied, discussed, yes, but more importantly, you have been marked. Marked not just by others, but by the hand of the Most High. And now, it is time to walk in that knowing. Begin by paying close attention to the environments you enter. If your presence shifts the energy in a room, don't shrink, stand taller. If your voice silences a crowd, don't apologize, speak with wisdom. If your silence draws more attention than others' noise, understand that you are not here to blend in, you are here to carry weight. Make room for quiet moments every day where you sit with God and ask Him not only to show you who has watched you, but who you are becoming under His gaze. Ask Him to search your heart and remove the need to be understood by those who are still confused by their own reflection in your light. Pay attention to your energy, what drains it, what feeds it. Nourish your spirit with truth. Protect your peace. Guard your name not by defending it, but by living in such a way that false words fall powerless. Begin to journal what you sense, because some of what you feel are not emotions, but discernments. That pressure in your chest, that may not be anxiety, it may be revelation trying to surface. Begin to bless even those who watched you from a place of envy. Their reaction says more about their hunger for light than it does about your brightness. And if God permits their confession to reach your ears, receive it without pride. Respond with humility and clarity. Do not chase closure. Allow truth to finish its work. You are not called to prove your purity. You are called to walk in it. Set boundaries with kindness, not fear. Speak truth with gentleness, not revenge. Love with eyes wide open. And finally, walk into every space like someone who knows they are already covered because you are. Heaven has not only watched the watchers, heaven has watched over you. So now, rise with intention. Live as though your name is already being spoken in rooms that matter. Build what you've been called to build. Love like you've already been healed. Pray like answers are already on the way. And shine not for their attention, but for His glory. Because now that the truth has surfaced, you no longer need to wonder why you are being watched. The only question that remains is, what will you do with the light they could never look away from? So, now, chosen one, as the full weight of this revelation settles upon your spirit, understand this. What has been brought into the light is not just about them, it's about you. It's about who you are becoming under the gaze of heaven and how you will carry yourself from this moment forward. This awakening isn't meant to feed your pride or deepen your wounds, but to remind you that you have always been set apart, even when you doubted it. The whispers, the eyes, the secret conversations, they were never meant to break you. They were confirmation of your distinction, evidence that your presence unsettles what pretends to be stable. Now is the time to rise, not with noise, but with certainty. Walk through your days with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are being backed by divine purpose. Let the attention you've received serve as a reminder that your calling is real and your light cannot be hidden. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to refine. Strengthen your boundaries, not as a wall to keep others out, but as a filter to protect what's sacred within. Choose your conversations wisely. Choose your company even more carefully. Move differently. not out of fear, but with the grace of one who knows the weight they carry. Be intentional with your words. Be precise with your energy. Let your actions reflect the awareness that you are being watched, not just by people, but by heaven. And as you do, remember this: the ones who tried to study your light never had the power to define it. Their opinions were never the source of your worth. Their reactions, whether admiration or envy, only confirmed what God has already spoken over you. You are not here by accident. Your timing is not random. And the fact that you are receiving this message now is no coincidence. It is divine alignment. The same God who saw you when no one else did is now revealing who was watching you all along, not to expose them, but to establish you. So, let this truth settle deep in your bones. Let it reorder your focus, clarify your relationships, and sharpen your discernment. You are no longer walking unaware. You are walking in full awareness of the weight you carry. And from this place, no gaze, no whisper, no opinion can shake what God has secured. Chosen one, now that the truth has been revealed and your spirit awakened, let us enter a moment of sacred stillness. This is where we lay it all before the Most High, not just what we've heard, but what we've carried in silence. Take a breath, let your soul settle, and join me in this prayer. Heavenly Father, the one who sees what is hidden and knows what is unspoken, we come before you with reverence and open hearts. Thank you for being the God who watches over us, even when we feel unseen by the world. Thank you for guarding our steps, shielding our name, and calling us into a purpose far greater than what others can perceive. You are the God of truth, and today you have pulled back the curtain. You have revealed what was whispered in secret and have brought to light the eyes that lingered in silence. Not to hurt us, Lord, but to heal us. Not to confuse us, but to confirm who we are in you. We lift up every moment we felt misunderstood, overlooked, and misread. We surrender every conversation spoken about us without our knowledge, every image passed around, every thought cast in envy or admiration. We do not carry bitterness. Lord, we release it now in your presence. We forgive those who watched us without words, who studied us through the lens of their own fears, their own hunger, their own uncertainty. And we ask, Father, that you would move in their hearts. Turn their curiosity into compassion. Transform their envy into awe of your glory. Lord, we declare today that our identity is not defined by what others say or see, but by what you have spoken. Before we were formed, you knew us. Before a word was on our tongue, you had already marked our steps. You have anointed us, not for approval, but for assignment. We were never meant to fit in, but to stand apart, holy, set aside, lit by the fire of your presence. Give us strength now, Father, to walk in that truth without shrinking, to speak with clarity, to love with boundaries, to shine without apology. We ask for increased discernment, God. Let us